Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney.
And I'm MK.
And happy Thriller Thursday! Woo-hoo. The best day of the week.
Actually, I'm good. I was going to say, actually, no. But then I was like, no, but this Thursday is good. But then I realized this is not the Thursday I'm thinking of. Last Thursday is the Thursday I'm thinking of.
We don't know what day it is.
It is Cinco de Mayo.
Hey! How exciting.
I do not have tequila right now. Because in recording time, it is not Cinco de Mayo. In publishing time, it is.
I thought about drinking wine, and then I was like, I'm so tired, I would not make it through recording.
I also thought about drinking wine. I have a bottle of wine next to me, but I got water instead because I don't think I could.
Bottle of wine next to me, and I got Coke instead because I was like,
I don't think I could do
it. How are things going? Tell me a story. What's your life like?
I'm trying to think of a story that I can legally talk about.
Well, while you think about that,
yeah, tell me about yours.
Why don't I tell you what our motto is today?
Our spiritual AF motto. What do we got?
Yes, and if this drives you crazy, I'm sorry, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
This one says, "Stop trying to skip the effing struggle."
Oh my gosh, that relates to what we talked about on Sunday about how life isn't beautiful without the pain.
Exactly. These cards. I don't know what the cards are about, but I'm going to say they read our lives and they know everything about us. I am now living and breathing by these cards, so.
No, I haven't said anything on the podcast about this at all because it's still very new and I'm being cautious and I'm trying not to jump into things too quickly and pace myself and respect boundaries. But I am kind of seeing someone.
Yeah. And we're thrilled. Very exciting times.
He's pretty great. And my face is ridiculous.
I'm sure it will. Age well.
Well, I mean, most of the time when I talk about men on the podcast, it doesn't age well because I'm like, I'm going to marry this guy. And then a month later, I'm like, who was I talking about?
Okay,
but this one is different. This one is different. This one I did not jump into talking about the podcast the minute it happened. We have gone on 2 dates. The third one is this week. And I really like him.
Yeah. Oh, it's very exciting.
Yeah. That's the only really good thing happening in my life right now. No, it's just both. The final show of Anastasia for the tour that was here got canceled because of COVID, and I was working, and it was a shit show trying to deal with all the craziness of it getting canceled after the lobby had already opened.
That same thing happened with Plaza Suite.
It was a journey, a struggle, and I also just had some really intense stuff happen with the kids that I can't talk about, that it's just been very stressful. So I was I'm COVIDed and children did it out.
I don't know what any of that was you just did, but okay.
No, and so because usually my happy stories are about the shows or about my kids, but this week the shows and my kids are not happy stories, so I was what can I talk about that isn't depressing?
Fair.
And it is a boy.
Oh,
I know. I hate myself. I'm what did I say to you the other day when I said I texted Courtney and I said,
I like erased it from my brain.
I know, but I said, I am so happy. I said, I would like to return my feelings. They have ruined my cold-hearted aesthetic. I am happy and it is gross and I would like a full refund.
Yes. That is not the one I thought you were referring to. That's fine.
No.
I approved of that one.
Yeah, that one is... Yeah, no, I want a refund on my feelings, except for that I don't.
It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to be happy.
I know. Am I though?
Yes, you are.
That's a weird statement.
I know. But I'm very happy for you. So hopefully we'll keep up blossoming.
Yeah, hopefully. And when things are more settled and comfortable, and I will talk more about him. But for now, it is too soon. Just happy.
That's okay. Good choices.
Yes.
Yeah. I am here. I have had a very long week because on top of working extra hours at the bar because we've had late nights, I've been working on what I just keep referring to as the YouTube project. And it is taking me ages and YouTube is not helpful. And today they emailed me and they were like, Courtney, hi, I hope you're having a blast. I was like, I am very much not.
Very much not.
Thank you. I am not having a blast. But after Wednesday, I will hopefully be having a blast because it's a due Friday, so I have to finish it Wednesday. And I'm going to DC on Thursday, which I've never been to. We're going for work. A couple of our writers are putting on the show Octavia. I just keep saying I'm so tired. Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sour. And they've done, I'm not exactly sure what they've done to it because I haven't seen it yet. But we're going to go Thursday. I don't know who else going. It might just be me and Nora. But our company's already like booked our trip and everything, like booked the train and hotels and stuff. And It's just one overnight, but I'm very excited. It's going to be nice to like get out of the city for a second.
Yeah.
Be able to like go out to dinner and relax and go see a show. We're going at like we're catching the train at like 9 in, so we'll like get there for lunch and be able to spend the day there. We might go to like Georgetown and
I love that.
Yeah,
I might go see a show this weekend.
You 1000% should.
If I don't, I will see it eventually. My best friend Nate is in Jesus Christ Superstar and it opens this weekend.
I still haven't seen that one.
Nope, I lied. That's not the name of the show he's in at all. He's in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Those are not
the same play.
I also haven't seen that one, but those are not the same thing.
As I said that, I go, that's not correct. That's not the play he's doing at all. No, he's in Joseph, which I've never seen.
Right.
I have seen Jesus Christ Superstar, but no, he's in Joseph. I was going to go opening night, but I'm broke, so maybe not.
Fair.
But I will definitely see it because obviously that's my best friend. So
yes. So it sounds like we're both gonna have a fun time this week.
Yeah.
Roller Thursday is gonna be a good day.
Still facts on facts.
Because I don't know what day week it is ever.
No idea.
And I don't have a good transition this week.
Honestly, so, I didn't on Sunday either.
Look, it's just one of those weeks. We're here for it. It's fine.
We're just here to share our awkwardness with you all of the time.
And before we get really into it, we talked about last week, not on the podcast, but to each other, instead of doing a season wrap up for Bates Motel because it kind of explains itself and it goes and we'll go to the next season. We'll still do the series wrap up at the end because there's still a lot to discuss. But instead, we're going to do a horror film in between season 1 and season 2.
Yes.
And if you want to guess what that is, I'll post that on Instagram probably, and you can take a guess and make suggestions. We've actually picked this one, but you can make suggestions for like the next season if you want.
Because as you might know, if you are watching both Sci-Fi Sundays and Thriller Thursdays, the seasons of Stargate, while also being more seasons, the seasons themselves are also just longer. So we will finish 2 Bates seasons within the first season of Stargate.
Yes. So
we need some more horror content for you guys.
Very excited about our next horror film. So I haven't watched it yet, and MK has watched it. So
I have watched it multiple times. Yes. I have very interesting stories about every time I've watched it,
and I cannot wait. So now to get into our episode, it is Bates Motel, Season 1, Episode 8. It is titled A Boy and His Dog. This is not my page that has my starting notes on, so let's flip over like I always have to because I'm never on the right page.
Never.
It aired on May 6th, 2013. Shockingly, the day after it comes out. Like this episode comes out, it's always one day behind. Yes. It was rated 8 out of 10, which I found a bit high for this episode.
Yeah, I can see that.
I didn't hate the episode by any means. I don't think I'm going to hate any of the episodes just because I love this show so much. But
no, I didn't hate the episodes. There were a couple things that I really, really liked. But the episode as a whole, yeah.
Not a lot's changed since last Thursday. The number 1 song is still Just Give Me a Reason, and the number 1 movie is still Iron Man 3. On this day, everything sad happened.
Of course.
I skipped it because it was also May Day in Ireland.
Oh.
So that seems nice.
That's lovely.
So call back to Midsummer. Because they have the maypoles and whatnot and the
true
dancing. So
I'm trying to whenever with Bates, just because I was an adult when this came out versus with Stargate where I was a small baby child. I try to think about what I was doing, like what was my life at that time.
I was in college.
I
was a sophomore in college.
I had just finished my junior year of college.
I just finished my
I was getting ready to move to New York.
Hey!
I was getting ready to move to New York.
Exciting.
Horrible year.
I was not doing that. I was getting ready to move in with Caitlin.
Oh, yay.
I moved in with Caitlin in May of this year.
I moved in with my ex in May of that year.
I did much better than you.
You did. You won that. You won that year. That month.
I did that year.
You won month. You won
May month of 2013.
You won May of 2013. I lost.
Yes. Good times. So our director is Ed Bianchi, and I feel like I've heard that name before, and he has not done any of the other episodes we've talked about. I haven't really watched anything he's been in. He's known for City on a Hill, Deadwood, Boardwalk Empire, and The Wire. All popular things.
But I have not watched.
All things I have not seen.
Correct.
So I do not know where I know his name from. But the day we're filming this is April 25th, and his birthday was April 24th.
Oh, happy birthday.
And same writers. We have very consistent writers. It's just the directors that keep changing.
Yeah. Also, I feel bad talking about all the things that we miss all the time. Last Thriller Thursday was my parents' wedding anniversary, and I forgot to shout that out.
Happy late anniversary.
Yes. / early for it's not yet when we film this.
Oh, it's like 3 days from now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, your mom's birthday was recently.
Yes. My mom's birthday
is... You just posted something about your parents.
Yes. No. My mom's birthday is the 18th. My parents' wedding anniversary is the 28th.
And your dad's birthday was like?
March 3rd.
Oh, okay. It was in March. I was thinking it was the end of March.
Okay. No, my dad's birthday, my birthday, my mom's birthday, my parents' anniversary.
Oh, that is too much to keep up with.
It's okay. The guy I'm seeing's birthday is the day after my dad's, so let's just throw some more in there.
I can't with you. And because we don't have any guest stars to discuss, I would like to talk about Nestor Carbonell, who is Sheriff Romero. And we have seen him in a lot of things.
Yes.
He was the mayor in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, he was.
He was indeed. I've only seen the first season of this show, but he was like main cast in Lost. Yep.
No, he wasn't.
It was. That's what it said. That's what the internet said, and it never lies.
The internet is lying.
It said he is known for Lost.
Okay, well, but like, okay, I believe you. I just also don't believe you.
Okay, well, I don't know if I believe me. I'm not seeing him. Oh, there he is. He played Richard Alpert.
Okay, but I don't think that's main cast.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about Lost. I watched one season. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
They said he was known for Lost, and so I put him as known for Lost.
Which does make sense.
And then, of course, his next top credit was Bates Motel.
Well, he was also the voice of Senor Jr. in Kim Possible and the voice of Savio from Penguins of Madagascar, and I find those to be very important.
Those are very important. You are correct.
He was in... Oh, you know why? He was not main cast. He was definitely a recurring character, but he was in the last 3 seasons, which were garbage of Lost.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Some fun facts about him on Lost. They put concealer on his lashes because they're naturally so dark like makeup. And everyone's always asking if he's wearing eyeliner and mascara, and he is not. They keep having to put concealer on his eyes so that they don't look so dark. They had to do it for Bates Motel too. And he's like super smart. He went to Harvard.
Oh,
I know.
Senor Senior Jr. went to Harvard?
He did. Let's go to the beginning.
All right.
Before we start this episode, I would like to make a semi-complaint. It skips around a lot, very similar to how Dead Like Me did. And it drove me insane watching this episode. We had some scenes that were longer, but it was like, this happened and it was really good. And it was like, and this. And now we're back to I'm like, why are we going like 10 seconds for a scene? Why are we even here? So I got a little frustrated.
Okay. I didn't notice it, but I think I was just writing reactional notes, not like plot notes. So
yeah. I was writing plot notes and I was very frustrated. So, as a recap, the last episode ended where the dog died and the creepy guy who I started referring to as CJ, Creepy Jake, he booked out the motel for once a week, every other month or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we started Emma's, not with Emma, but at Emma's. And we have Professor Quirrell taxidermying Juno.
I wrote, Court, you are right. The dog is his first taxidermy friend.
And I said, this is where it all started. This was the beginning. Because if you've seen Psycho, you know that he's really into taxidermy. So I love that we're seeing it. One thing that concerns me is we're seeing so much of this start so early, and there's 5 seasons.
That's what my mom said. She was like, how are they going to have 5 seasons? Because when he is doing the taxidermy, he says something that literally gave me the ick so fucking hard. I had to pause the show and walk out of the room.
Oh no.
Because he says to Professor Quirrell about the dog, it just seems dishonorable to put her in the ground. And I was like, oh, and I freaked out. And my mom was like, what? I go, have you seen Psycho? She was like, no. I go, He gave me the ick so hard.
I know. I just put, he is truly turning into 1960s Psycho Norman. I was like, it's like at this point so well done that I just think it's gonna go flat before the end. And I'm so nervous because I love it so much.
I know. It was
Now we pop over to the school. We're in the bathroom. Emma is dying. I mean, literally, and also choking at the same time. Yeah. And she it's true.
Yeah.
She overhears the mean girls talking about Norman and saying that, like, Bradley, it's so sad because Bradley would never do anything with him or be with him or whatever.
Yeah.
And she is like not having it. She's like, we are not about to do this. And she just goes off on these girls.
I wrote, hell yeah, Emma, you defend your man.
I know. She was like, I don't think you, like, the mean girl was like, I don't think you understand. It was like, I don't think you understand. I was like,
but also like props to the show because I just went from having the ick so hard that I had to leave the room to being like, fuck yeah, you defend Norman. Yeah. That's your man. Like within a second.
I know. I was like, you don't let them talk bad about him, even though we're like, he's absolutely.
I was like, he's gonna kill his mom and keep her body in his basement, but also like, yes, you love him.
Right, exactly.
Props to the writing team on the show because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me.
I mean, the show, man, it'll do some weird things to you. And then quickly we switch over back to the Bates Motel. And we're with Norma, and she is calling Romero, and I was like, she is just trying to get her another cop like on her list. Like
I wrote, Romero is avoiding you, stupid. He doesn't want to talk to you.
Like he doesn't want to talk to you anymore. You're done now.
Yeah.
And we look outside, and creepy Jake is just smoking in the middle of the parking lot, like a creep.
The worst.
And it is so uncomfortable. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
So much I hate him. And then very quickly we switched to a new scene. I'm telling you, it felt like I was taking notes on Dead Like Me. And I was like, what is happening?
Right.
And I think it's because we're getting to the end of the season and they're trying to like wrap everything up.
Yeah, they're like ramping up all the stories because it's episode 8 and there's 10 episodes. So this is like that last push.
Right. And I'm like, we do not have to solve everything this second. Like everything is.
But we do.
I guess we do. That seems to be what everyone else thought too, apparently. So we go to the pot farm. And we are there for a very brief amount of time. And he gets a phone call from Gil telling him to go get the trimmers are ready. And he's like, what is that? And he's like, ask Remo.
I was like, that's people. Trimmers are people.
But is that like, does that mean something?
Yeah, well, okay.
Oh, gosh.
Fun fact. Do you remember when Becca M was on Ari's season of The Bachelor and then she went missing, but she didn't actually go missing? She just like was working on a pot farm.
What?
Okay, so Becca M with the short hair on Ari's season.
Oh yes. I was thinking Becca.
No, Becca M, short hair Becca.
Yes.
She went missing right as the show was like airing and her mom was like freaking out, but really she was just working on a pot farm. But I listened to her podcast. And so in like the first episode of the podcast, she explained everything that like actually happened. And so like they have these like pot farms in like Northern California and like Oregon where like seasonally people will just show up to work and pick things and like live on the pot farm like a commune, and then like when the picking season is done they leave and they're called trimmers. So I knew that they were people because of the time that Becca disappeared and went to a pot farm.
I love that. That is the exact reason I would want to know it as well. I did know, I assumed they were people because I always have my subtitles on because I can't hear anything. And so I heard Tremors. My first thought was like Tremors. And I was like, that sounds super sketchy. But when I saw it on the screen, it was spelled Trimmers.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, this is a very different thing. This is not quite the same. So,
no, yes.
I had a lot of questions, and Remo did not explain it, which meant that there was no help.
Correct.
He was just fussy about being under Dylan. So we go back to the school. And Bradley, the one we love to hate. At least I do. Not sure if that's a common feeling or not. Goes off on Norman. And she like doesn't want people to know they slept together. And I was just like, she is the worst. Like, she's like, I have a boyfriend. It's like, then don't sleep with other guys.
That's what I wrote. My note says, Bradley, that's on your dumbass, because don't cheat on your boyfriend and then get mad that you look like the bad guy. That's what we're not going to do. That is not the look.
Right.
Either
like, everything is your fault.
Here's the thing. Either don't cheat on your boyfriend, one, or two, if you're going to live in your villain era, fucking own your villain era. Like, don't. No, what we're not going to do, what you're not going to do is be the nice girl and still be a fucking hoe.
Yeah. Right. You don't get to hurt everyone and pretend like you're the victim. It's not cute. So, not a fan.
Correct.
But also after this, I don't know if we're going to have a lot of Bradley anymore. That's kind of one of my predictions going forward. I know this may not be this is not the prediction section.
Yeah.
But this scene made me think the way they portrayed it, she's no longer gonna be his love interest, because
I agree, but I also think that she's gonna come around just enough to fuck things up and get herself killed.
See, and that's why I'm a little unsure. I don't know if I feel that way anymore. I thought that for a long time, but now I'm like, I don't know that she's going to be important enough anymore to get killed.
Except for what his reaction was.
Yeah, but then he got past it.
Did he?
I think so.
I don't. See, I don't. I think he's boiling underneath.
I think this reaction was triggering for something to happen with, I do not know her name. I kept calling her Miss Honey, because she makes me think of Miss Honey from Matilda.
Yes. Agreed.
Because we had that, oh my gosh.
Oh, that weird thing. That weird thing when he was thinking of her with I forgot about that. I did know that it pissed me off, because when she followed him out of the school, I was like, what teacher chases the kid out of the school?
Right.
But that's not, I absolutely would be concerned. I would probably call the police. I would not physically chase the kid outside of the school.
Right. No, I don't know what she was thinking.
No, I was mad.
I think she's got some weird fascination with him, and I'm uncomfortable about it.
Agreed.
And I think it's going to be her downfall, and I think that this scene was setting that up and not setting up anything for Bradley.
Which is fair. But I don't know. I still don't know. Because we also had that weird foreshadowing with her and Dylan, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, true. That's going to have to get resolved.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Yeah, I had completely forgotten about Miss Honey. That is now who she will always be.
I still call her the Blue Fairy.
That's okay. So. That's fine. She can be whoever we want her to be. So when she came back,
apparently she can be whoever Norman wants her to be too.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think we're getting ready to see more of her. But I love how Norman's just like, I have to go now. Peace out. He's just like, I see you later. Like, no. I am emotional and I have to go. What? I was like, look, I get it. It's like, if this happened to me,
honestly,
especially in high school,
if I could just walk out of the school anytime I'm like not emotionally having it, I would never be in my classroom.
Okay, but you're the teacher. So that's different. But if you were in high school and this whole scenario happened to you, would you not walk out the door? I would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have the same reaction. I probably wouldn't get violent, but I would probably.
Yeah. I probably would have just gone to the nurse's office and like slept and taken a nap until I calmed down. But that's because I did that a lot.
Would have gone to my tennis coach and been like, I need you to check me out right now. I'm leaving. And he'd be like, okay.
No, the nurse was my friend, and every time in my freshman year I had gym first period, and which actually just meant that there was a permanent cot for me in the nurse's office for when I went to take a nap first period every gym day, because I was not about to do it.
My coach was on my checkout list because my parents worked weird hours.
Yeah.
And so like if I needed to leave for any reason, whether it be because I used to get migraines really bad and I would be like super sick, but you had to have somebody check you out. And so my coach was just like on my list and could just check me out for whatever. So
see, we weren't allowed to leave the school like for anything. Like obviously other than like a parent, like a doctor's appointment or something, we couldn't just leave.
Well, if we were driving, we could. Like we had cars and like.
Oh no, you couldn't unless you were a senior.
Oh, we could once you had like your license or whatever. You could leave, but you couldn't just like leave with anyone. You had to be checked out by someone who had the authority to check you out. And I just had my coach check me out, so it worked out.
Man, the South is a fucking weird place. Just kidding.
You're not wrong, but. This particular thing was not that weird, but as a rule, the South is kind of a weird place. As is this town that I will never remember the name of it that we live in.
White Pine?
That sounds fine.
Pine Bay? Something?
Those are not the
White
same.
Pine Bay? White Pine Bay? I don't know. There's words.
I like White Pine Bay.
I think somehow I feel like that's correct.
Somehow I feel like it's not, but I'm okay with calling it that. Because we're just making this show whatever we want it to be.
True.
So, so now we go back to the motel again, which is always a fun time with Norma. And she's going to clean Creepy Jake's room, number 9.
Which is weird because he literally was like, don't come clean my room.
Right. So I was like, I don't think you first of all followed any of the rules you were supposed to follow. And
which like I respect because he's a fucking creep, but also like what did you expect?
Right. And also like it's not that weird to be like, don't clean my room while I'm here. Like every time I go to Disney, which granted they give us like money for not cleaning our rooms, but like every time I go to Disney, I'm just like, we're just like, you don't have to see our room for the next week. You can just clean it when we leave. So like that's fine.
Yeah, I literally only if I'm staying for somewhere long enough where I'm going to need my towels replaced do I want them to clean it.
But then I just go get my towels usually, or like call them to bring me towels. Like,
yeah.
So, but maybe he did call her because he apparently needed towels. So,
and then that reaction was not someone who called
being a super creep. So, he's like, "Come clean my room while I'm still here," and I was like, "How weird is that?" I was like, "I would not have done it." First of all,
so I have, in fact, had the housekeeper come in while I was in my room to clean the room while I was still there. Like when I was at the Hilton in Bangkok. But like I was just doing my work, like sitting in the corner on the chair, like because I had like a business suite. So I was like on my desk, like doing work while she cleaned around me. And I was like, "Thank you so much, your sweetheart, blah, blah, whatever." But I did not speak to her because that's awkward.
And this wasn't normal speech. He starts talking about Shelby and this like sex trade that's going on. And I was like, this is all a very uncomfortable topic when you know that like this is probably one of the rooms that people were like harmed in. And it's not great. It's not great. And so then she's like, "Okay, deuces, like I'll see you later. Gotta go drive Norman." And he's like, "He's not here." And she's like, "Okay, I just gotta go then." He's like, "What?" And he like he like super tries to not let her leave.
I was so fucking uncomfortable.
I know. I was like, is he gonna like actually attack her? But no, I think he was just trying to like seem aggressive. Like, what is the word I'm looking for? Intimidate. Yes, he was just trying to intimidate her. And it was very strange.
It fucking worked.
It intimidated me and I was not there.
Yeah.
So he gives me like, obviously Shelby and Keith Summers were creepy. This guy's like super creep.
Next fucking level.
Of course. Yeah. So finally she gets out of there and heads back to the office. And then she decides to make a family drop at the police department, because that's what you do. You just stop off and talk to the sheriff.
When I saw her in the police office before she even went into his office, I was like, he's not your friend. Damn, lady, leave him alone.
Right? Like, he doesn't like you. Like, he did what was best for the town. He doesn't care that you exist. No. And frankly, I think he would prefer if you didn't, but he doesn't seem to be a killer, so it's fine. Yeah. So like, she's clearly trying to like sweet talk him into like being her new BFF cop. Because this is where they're talking about the bypass being built, and which I had completely forgotten about.
Right, me too.
It was like the second episode that they mentioned this in.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a big plot in the like book too, but it's just one of those things that like didn't think about anymore. So they're still trying to build this.
Which actually was the whole reason she got involved with Zach in the first place. So like now that that's behind her, she's like, oh, right, back to my mission.
Right. So she's trying to get it shut down, because if they build the bypass, no one's going to drive by the hotel anymore, which means she's not going to get any business anymore.
Yeah.
And that is a real bummer, but also like, you can't just like seduce every cop you meet.
Right. And I'm back to not really liking him because he was kind of rude. But like, he's 100% right. Because he's like, you can't walk in here and try to intimidate me and blackmail me because you don't have the first fucking idea who you're working with. Do not ever step to me again.
Right. I was like, I don't dislike him. He's not wrong. And Norma, like, I appreciate him just like standing up to her.
And here's the thing. He's the sheriff of a town where someone was set on fire in broad daylight in the middle of the town and nothing happened. Like, this man is not someone I would ever fuck with.
Right. And I loved towards the end of the scene when they were going through all their back and forth, he just gets in her face and looks at her and he's like, I might have to burn you down to the ground. And I was like, oh goodness. Oh, that is definitely a threat, in case you didn't know, and those are illegal, but that's fine. You're the sheriff, I guess. So.
Right, like, who's gonna arrest him?
Right. Who's gonna prove he said it? No one's gonna believe Norma. No one believes Norma already.
Right.
So that was fun. And this is where we just like jump from scene to scene. Dylan and Remo go on a road trip to get the Tremors,
which are in fact people.
Right. They are, in fact, people. And then Emma goes through this, like, we see Emma for a bit, and I'm like, does she have ulterior motives? Because she's saying she doesn't, blah, blah, blah. It was, like, very quick snapshot scenes. And then we go back to the school. And Norma has been brought in to discuss with Miss Honey and Principal. Norman's running out. And my first note says, okay, Miss Honey, back off. Because, like, I get that you're not allowed to just like run out of the school. But also...
Sorry, I just jumped. A moth flew at me and it scared the shit out of me.
I thought someone was about to attack you. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm too far away. Like,
it was just a moth. We're good.
Excellent.
Sorry, no, I have a note that says, ugh, I hate that, but I don't know what it was about. Oh, I think it was about the way Norman talked to Emma about, oh yes, it was the way when Norman and when Emma like seemed like she had ulterior motives. Norman was like, the way he was like, don't ever tell anyone anything I've said in confidence to you ever again. I go, ew, no.
Yeah, they have a tricky relationship.
Yes. Oh, but then Miss Honey, I know she crossed a little bit of a boundary. She did. I was mad about it. But then she says to Norma that they're worried about Norman's emotional instability. And I said, understatement of the fucking century.
Right. I was like, if this is the one instance you're basing it off of, that's too strong. If you're talking about the rest of the year when no one else has said anything about how he's acted, that makes sense.
Right.
Like, why is today the day? Because he got upset about something that actually makes you upset? Like,
no, but I think his violent reaction to her was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, he has a pattern of being just like a fucking nut job.
Yes, very true. Very true. Yeah, so they're like, we think he should have therapy. We'll sign him up. And Norman's like, absolutely not. She's like, I will put him with a therapist I think he should go with. Which, God willing, we will get there.
All right. One of the things that happened with me with my kids over the past week that I couldn't deal with was that I can't actually talk about did involve trying to get a student into therapy. Mm-hmm. So when I watched this scene, I was shaking because it was very triggering as a teacher of kids who need fucking therapy. If the parent ever blatantly lied to my face the way Norma just did, I would have lost my goddamn mind. I was flipping out. I was like, that wasn't even a good attempt at lying. Like, no. I couldn't. Like, real me, not like watching this podcast me and like kind of rooting for Norman Bates. Real life me was livid.
And she's like, could you get me the name of that therapist when you get it figured out? She's like, sure.
So I can, I don't know, literally tell a mental health professional anything.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was a scene. And then we go back to Dylan's road trip, and he's out drinking with Remo, who may or may not be an alcoholic. And Remo is
most definitely a fuck up.
Yes, definitely. And he is pissed off. He has not gotten over the fact that Dylan's above him. I get this was like 3 days ago. But like, it's clear they need to work together, and you're just going to have to get over it. Like, obviously that's not changing. And like, from all of the things he says in the next like few scenes, like, obviously that's not changing, and you know it's not changing. Like, I don't know why you can't just like give up.
But I think they kind of like got over it.
They did.
Yeah.
That's my next note, because they got into a bar fight, and the bartender just like, what else? He's like, it's an empty bar. I don't even care. Yeah. Like, too tired for this today. And then Remo was like telling him he's going to try to destroy him. It was the whole thing. But then they seem to kind of like get over it.
They just needed to like punch each other and be done with it.
Right. Like, that's how a lot of guy fights seem to be. If they could just like punch each other in the face and get over it. And like, I understand that like they say that like girls just get catty, but I truly think if there are sometimes I could punch people in the face, I'd probably get over it a lot faster.
Yeah. There's definitely people that I'm like, if I could like literally just hit you or even say the things that I'm thinking to you,
right,
and then just be done.
Yeah.
But again, like that goes back to the fact that I don't hold grudges. Like I just get it out and get it over. I don't care.
Well, I do hold grudges, it seems, but I think I could punch someone and not hold a grudge against them.
That's fair. Like, the violence would help.
Yeah, not that I condone violence, but
like maybe. light necessary violence.
Right. Like, I'm not gonna like break their face or like
no weapons. No weapons.
I just want to like
clean fight.
I just want to kind of
just rough them up a bit.
Exactly. You gotta feel better. And they start talking, and then Remo starts talking about he doesn't work for Gil, he works for the big boss. And this is where I said, who do you think the big boss is?
I mean, to be fair, at this point, I think creepy Jake is involved in this scheme.
So I think creepy Jake is on the other side of whatever rivalry is going on in the city, because you know there's a rivalry. And I think Sheriff Romero is the top of the side.
Oh, interesting theory. I don't hate that.
But I do think, I think CJ is the top of his side.
Yeah.
But
you also learn in this moment that once you're in, you don't get out. There is no option. There's no option for getting out.
The way out is death.
He said he's like, you can't quit. You could get fired. You don't want that to happen to you. And I was like,
right. I would guess when you get fired, you get killed. So,
well, yeah, that's
I'm thinking literally the only way out is death.
Correct.
Which is super cool and everything. Not trying to join any gangs because that sounds terrifying.
Yep.
Then we go back home, and Norman, this is the first time we've seen them together this episode, which feels a little late in the episode, but fine.
Yeah.
So they're talking about therapy and fitting in, and he's like, I know I messed up. And then he kind of makes me sad because he's like, I think I fit in pretty well otherwise. And I was like, oh, you don't. You have one friend who also doesn't fit in. Yeah. Like, God bless. So I was like, oh, I feel so sad for him. And then I was like, it's kind of a weird crossover because like Norman's now, we found out he's going to work for Emma's dad at taxidermy. Yeah. And Emma is going to work at the hotel, which we learned last episode.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. I don't know exactly what Norma said to him, but I know that I was upset and said, because my note says this is absolutely not how you parent a child.
It may have been when they went over to Emma's house and she has a private chat with Coral.
No, it wasn't. It was definitely when she was talking to him at the house, because I have a different note about the private chat. But I think it was, it was the way she reacted. He was like, sorry about what happened at school today. And whatever she said to react, I was like, ma'am, no.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was a little more disdainful than it needed to be. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so they go over, she decides to have a chat with Professor Coral, and she's like, she keeps trying to tell him that taxidermy is like weird and for people that don't fit in, and he's like looking at her, she's like, I don't mean you though. It's like,
you do though.
It's like, there's literally no one else you could mean. Like, you don't know anyone else that
honestly
does it.
Here's the thing. So he's like, listen, kids need a healthy outlet, and this is something, and it's artistic and it's creative, and like, what could go wrong? And I literally, my note says, I'm obsessed with Will Ducote, but I'll tell you exactly what could go wrong.
Yes, I said it gets a little different, a little bit going wrong when he taxidermies his mom. So, not great. Not great.
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Absolutely not. So we've got a couple of jumping scenes again. We go back to Dylan picking up the trimmers, and Remo really wants him to leave this one guy behind who's playing the guitar. He's like, I remember him from last year. He was the worst. I think we should just leave him.
Now, here's the thing. My note about the scene was just that I was really, really glad they were pretentious douchebags, because I had this gut feeling that it was going to be like a bunch of like illegal immigrants that should not have been like being picked up, and that's why they had to do it so sketchy. And then I was like, oh no, it's just hipster douchebags. Thank God.
I absolutely thought the same thing.
I was like, when I saw that man and his guitar, I was like, thank the Lord for hipster douchebags.
Exactly. Not a thing I ever thought I would thank the Lord for. That is absolutely fine, I guess. And Dylan is acting very in charge, and sometimes maybe he should. Remo has been around a lot more, and he is technically in charge, but he doesn't know anything. He doesn't even know what trimmers were. I mean, I don't either, but I'm not in charge. But like,
yeah, I don't
take a little advice from Remo, especially since they're like past their little spat, I think. And then we jump back to what we see is Norman's first taxidermy day. Not a lot happened. He's just chatting with Coral and talking about Emma's mom leaving and how sad it was, but he's like petting taxidermy Juno, and very empty scene in my mind. It didn't feel like
I actually have 0 notes on that scene.
I don't feel like it was a very necessary scene. But then we go back to Norma, where something's always happening.
Right. I wrote Norma, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Everything. Because her next thing when she gets back to the hotel, but she decides to follow a creepy Jake. You've decided he is a terrible person that you are scared of. He wouldn't let you out of the room, and now you're going to follow him in the middle of the night.
She's seriously going to get herself hurt. Like, honestly,
yes.
If I didn't know that she was probably going to be murdered by her son, I would think she'd be murdered by literally everyone else.
Everyone else, yes. Like, so many opportunities. Oh, Norma. So, we find out that he's actually going to Keith Summers' boat because apparently something was hidden there.
So what the fuck is he looking for?
I put like 3 different times I wonder what he's looking for. And again, I knew she wouldn't die here, but I would put she's going to die if she gets caught.
Yeah. Well, and then she does.
Right. And like, I don't know what she was thinking. Like, she didn't really hide her car that well, and he knows her car. Like, and she was like waiting for him to leave, so he would have passed her car.
Right.
Like, her brain, she doesn't have one.
But okay, then
yes,
he's like yelling at her and asking her where it's hidden. And at this point, I'm still genuinely unsure of what he's looking for. Like, I was like, I don't know, is he talking about the book? Like, is he talking? I genuinely do not know what he is looking for.
Same. And but he knows everything else. He knew she was sleeping with Shelby. He knows what happened with Keith Summers. Like, he knows everything.
Yeah.
Except wherever this thing is that is missing.
Right.
And she's like, kind of like obviously a little bit like freaked out. And he just tells her, he's like, if Keith Summers was the bottom rung, I'm at the top. And I was like, I knew he was the bad guy, like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And so he's clearly in charge of that side. Whether or not the pot farm and the sex trade overlap at all, I'm unsure still.
I don't know. Yeah.
He's definitely at the top of that list. And then we go to therapy. And God. My first note was just, why is Norma in his therapy session?
I said, Norma, he's not talking to you. Get the fuck out of there.
Right. Like, he's old enough that he, first of all, I mean, there are plenty of like small kids that also don't have their parents in there. But like, he's definitely old enough to have therapy.
Right. No, he's 17 years old. He does not need his mom to be in the room with him.
No. And like, she's not letting him answer, or he's just saying what she's saying. And it's just not helpful. It's a whole thing. And if only someone may have gotten him therapy now, at the latest now, maybe things would have turned out differently.
Maybe.
But I'm not feeling very optimistic about this therapy session continuing well.
Yeah. Right.
And then we go back to our road trip. And the guy playing the guitar is hissing Remo off. And he starts yelling at him to stop playing. And this guy, hipster douchebag, thinks he's going to talk back to Remo. And he's like, I'm going to do whatever I want. You can use this stuff for food. Blah, 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 blah. And Dylan's like, pull over. And Dylan, unfortunately, fits well into his role. He gets out of the car in the middle of nowhere, opens the doors, pulls out a gun, and tells this guy he has to get out.
He said, get out of this car, you and anyone else who thinks this is a democracy.
Yeah. I was like, all right, Dylan, all right. You're not wrong, but okay.
Here's the thing about that scene. Mm-hmm. I know this says a lot about me as a person. And don't worry, I'm judging myself. You don't have to. Like, God, he was hot when he did that.
I knew that's exactly where you were going.
I was like, okay. Yes, sir.
He was pretty scary. He was like, I know he's obviously very like, he's kind of intense, but I don't know how intense he could get, which is showing Max Terrio as a more well-rounded character. And I am loving it. He is doing a great job. And
I literally wrote, I don't think it's a good thing that I think this is hot, but
I also put, I think Dylan's losing it. Like, he is about to go off the rails.
Take me with you.
I think that is a bad idea. I will be pulling you back. Not be letting you go off the rails with Dylan. Because you will die. And I don't want that for you.
I appreciate that.
Yes, anytime. Happy to pull you off a cliff. And then we're back at therapy. And he's like, before you leave, can I talk to you for a bit, Norma? And everyone's just like sending Norman away to talk about him. And I'm like, he is 17. He's not 3. Like, everyone's acting like he's a 5-year-old. And I'm like, okay. But he's telling Norma that he's like, maybe it's best if I see Norman on my own. And then he's like, maybe you should get therapy. And she's like, all of this is crazy.
I was like, you fucking think? You fucking think?
Like, and she's like, I'm fine. And he's like, I think when you feel out of control, you try to control everything else. And she's like, not at all. I was like, you are such a liar. I know this because when I feel out of control, I try to control everything else. And I'm a lot less crazy than you are, probably. I would like to believe so. So far, I haven't killed anyone. So,
that's good.
I love Norma.
You're doing well.
Thank you. I try. But I was like, if I try to control things when I feel out of control, you definitely do. Like,
absolutely.
Not a chance that you don't. So, yeah. Speaking of being in control, we go back to the motel. And Norma storms up to Creepy Jake's door and immediately kicks him out. She's like, I don't know what you're doing. Here's all your money back. You can't be here anymore. And then he's like trying to threaten her by like, I know about you and Shelby. And I'm like, first of all,
everybody knows about her.
Yeah. Like, even if they act like they don't, everyone knows about her and Shelby. And
also like, okay, she fucked a guy who was a shitty person. Sorry. Like, right. That sucks. But like, you're not really spoiling anybody's secrets.
Like, just the fact that all these bad things happen on her property have already ruined her for the rest of the town. Like, it's not like she's going to go down anymore. So that's not as big of a threat as he thinks it is. No. And I'm glad that she stood her ground for once.
But I also, like, if I was her, I would be a little bit terrified to call the cops after how things went down with her and Sheriff Romero today. Like, that would not be my first reaction.
No, I mean, I think she was bluffing first. No. I think she was hoping she didn't have to. Honestly, I was shocked he left. I thought she was going to have to call Sheriff Romero.
That's fair.
So I was shocked that he left, but glad nonetheless. Yeah. And now we go back to taxidermy, as we do. And poor Norman is so upset about Juno. And sweet Emma is a really good friend. And she's like, okay, look, I have to tell you. She's like, I wouldn't have said anything, but these girls were being super mean, and I didn't want them saying bad things about you.
She was like, I know you think I like you, and okay, like, maybe I do, but, like, I don't want you to be my boyfriend. I just want you to know you're special. And I was like, Emma, you are too pure for this world.
Like, you are so sweet, and something really bad's going to happen to you. Like, all good things have to die. Only what is the song? Evil, what is it? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Maybe it'll come back to me.
Okay. I was like, what is what song?
There's a song. Okay. But while in the meantime, we go back to the motel again. And Dylan has brought all of the trimmers to the hotel. And he's like, hey, I have like 7 guys. And he was like, asking about man number 9, and she's like, oh, I kicked him out. And he's like, super proud of her, and he's like, great job. And he's like, I brought you all this business. And I was like, are Dylan and Norma actually becoming like a family?
I literally was like, Norma and Dylan having a relationship. Like, my heart can't take it. We just had Emma being the sweetest, purest human, and now these two are like gonna make up. And I was like,
right.
I literally go, this episode has to end horribly because too many good things just happened.
I know. Although she, like, as a mom, should have, like, probably asked about his, like, broken arm and his busted lip, but she didn't. That's fine.
No, but his arm is only still messed up from when he got shot.
Oh, I thought that was from the bar.
No, well, when in the bar fight, he like swung at him weird because his arm was still not fully healed.
But still, he had a busted lip. I probably would have asked about that if I was.
Yeah.
And then they discussed, they're like, we're going to go to dinner. And he's like, yeah, sounds great. So naturally,
everything goes to shit.
Everything is bad. So Norma goes back to change and get ready for dinner while Dylan's checking all these people in. And I just put, oh my God, the dead sheriff is in her bed. And
I just wrote, holy shit. No, it was. That was actually, well, the actor. No, like it was, but that was actually his dead body.
That's what I thought. I was like, I don't know if he like pulled out a different dead body and dressed it up like a sheriff.
No.
It was definitely a dead body. So it felt very, which one is it that they leave the fish in the bed?
You mean the horse head in The Godfather?
That's the one.
Okay.
What's the saying? The saying is about a fish. Sleep with the fishes. Yes. Okay. I combined everything. You got yes. That's where I was going. That's how it felt.
Yes.
Very Godfather-esque.
Yes. And it freaked me out.
It also freaked me out. And then it was over and I like panicked and I was like, oh my God, what happened? I was not prepared for the end.
No. I was not prepared for it to end at that moment.
I don't know what was happening. It was very stressful.
Also, the fact that she was screaming for Norman when she knew he wasn't there and Dylan was really upsetting to me.
It was also very upsetting to me. I was like, that doesn't say good things for your mental state.
No.
So,
your 17-year-old son with dissociative identity disorder is who you look for when you find a dead body. Like, that makes me uncomfortable for you as a person.
And I'm interested because we keep like picking up right where we left off for the new episodes. I'm interested if that's going to happen next time because this is a very intense spot to like pick up in the middle.
This one didn't. It was like the next day.
It was that night, I think. Was it that night that he?
No, it was definitely like daytime at the taxidermy shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just been the past few episodes then that like gone over. So that'll be good. So who do you want to punch in the face?
It's a toss-up, really.
That's fair.
But I think Creepy Jake.
It's a good pick. He would have been my second pick. I'm going Bradley.
That's fair.
I really want to punch her in the face. She's being such a jerk.
Yeah. She does suck a lot.
She does suck a lot. Who's your MVP?
Here's the thing. This is a 50-50 split. 50-50 split down the middle because actually Emma. But Dylan taking control was a lot for me.
Yeah.
But actually Emma.
Yeah. I picked Professor Coral because really sweet to Norman, and even though he's kind of the beginning of the end for Norman, it seems he like if you really could spend more time with him, he could be like a good figure for him to follow.
That's true.
And he just cares so much about Emma, and
it's
not gonna go well. But in this episode, he's my MVP.
Yeah.
So, do you have any predictions?
Well, I feel like somebody's gonna die. Like somebody else has to die.
Surely.
I'm hoping that like we get a glimpse of who the big boss is for Dylan. Maybe not in a way where Dylan finds out, but like we find something out. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like so close to the end that like I don't know what's going to happen because there's like things that need to wrap up before the season finale, but like I don't know what still needs to be wrapped up because everything that we have left is just like a question mark. I don't know what's going to happen.
So we have 2 more episodes left.
Yeah.
I do think it's getting close for someone else to die, but I think they're going to do it in the finale because I don't feel like they really set it up.
I think somebody's not going to die this next week, but the week after.
Because the only person that really would be on the chopping block would be Bradley, and I don't feel like it was left for her to be, like, based on this episode. And I'm still thinking she might not be the next to go now that I've felt that. I'm a little concerned that this episode may end a little too chaotically, but I'm hoping it like evens out and answers all the questions.
I hope. I don't know.
Do you want some fun trivia before we go?
I'd love some.
So the title of this episode, A Boy and His Dog, is a reference to a 1975 film that has the same name.
Yep. I knew that. Did
not know that. Have you seen the film?
No.
I know nothing about it. Just that they share a name. So this, I'm a little skeptical, but apparently Norma's line, "I'm not afraid of you, you have no power over me," was referencing Labyrinth. And I do believe that was said in Labyrinth, but I don't feel like
was actually an intentional reference.
Right. Like, I don't know that it's not been said in a lot of other things too. Even though it was a big moment in Labyrinth, but it wasn't like.
Yeah. I just don't know that the parallel for like the emotional, like, why would it be there?
I don't think, but it said it was, so I wrote it down.
Okay.
This is a fun fact that you may know because you watched Lost. I did not. There's an Easter egg in the bar scene. They have Dharma beer bottles.
I did not catch it. If I had seen that on the beer bottles, I would have known what it was, but I didn't catch it.
And my last fun fact that I think is pretty funny when you think about it, the hipster douchebag guitar player is Remo's real life son.
I'm obsessed with that.
How fun is that?
That's awesome. I love that shit.
I thought I'd end us on a high note.
Fantastic.
That is very rare when it comes to Thriller Thursdays. So
facts.
About time. I thought that was hilarious. And I bet he overly enjoyed that scene.
Oh, I sure hope.
You have any predictions if you're as nervous about the ending as I personally am? If you want to guess what our horror film will be, if you want to suggest some for next time,
yes,
you can find us at deathandaliens@gmail.com. You can find us on all the social media at Death and Aliens. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can follow me on everything at EMKAY_superstar.
And we will see you this weekend for Sci-Fi Sunday.
Bye.